I like any resurgence on genre films, anytime it happens. I'm 46, starting tomorrow, and I've heard in my lifetime 2, 3, 4 times, horror is dead, horror is dead, horror is nothing, it's done, and then oh, horror is the hot thing, horror is the hot, So I love it when it comes back in whatever shape. People are resentful of the youthful, chaste vampires. Look, I don't like them, but I love that they make people come close. In the way that Republican repressive people say that marijuana is a gateway drug, I think that any horror movie is a great gateway genre movie. And my daughter loves Nightmare Before Christmas and loves this and that, but those were her gateway into watching Aliens, Alien 3, The Omen, and this and that. And I find any resurgence in horror, independent or from the studios, is really great. Well, I don't particularly love the idea of chaste vampires. I don't particularly love the idea of vampires as romantic heroes, but I am not against it. I think the vampire survives because it's a very adaptable symbol. I think there's room for everyone, every vampire fan in the world, and you have the polysexual vampires of Anne Rice, and you have these Mormon young vampires that are chaste. That's okay. The vampires I like are dirty, brutal, parasitic, bloated, blood-drinking, undead corpses inhabited by an alien intelligence, by an alien soul. So they are reanimated corpses in the most traditional European fashion. Chuck Hogan and I have agreed not to talk about any we've been approached to sell the rights for TV, for film, for a trilogy of films, for a mini-series, for this and that, and we have not done it because we have not yet written the third book, and we want to write the third book just thinking about it as fiction. The 3 books have their own signature, their own rhythm. Some people like it, some people don't, God bless, but we don't want to think about them and be thinking about what would be great for the movie or what would be great for the TV series. We want to just write them as books. There is, coming from Palace Press next year, there will be a big coffee table book about all the diaries in my movies, and there will be a limited edition of a facsimile of the diaries that you will be able to buy. So the answer is yes. It's coming, but it's going to be a big, expensive, heavy book detailing all the pages with an explanation on the side and all that. But it's coming. I don't know. I don't know what a true artist is. I've never met anyone that I like that could declare himself to be that. But, am I a true artist? I am a true guy. Everything you see in my movies is truly what I like. And they are all truly done because I essentially have a massive boner to make them. So in that sense, I am a genuine guy, a true guy, and I am an artist because God knows what I do is not commerce. So, I guess the answer is somewhat. If you really qualify those 2 terms, I am. I would love to be involved in anything Neil Gaiman does, and I really like the way he writes. Hellboy 2 actually is inspired by people that inspire Neil Gaiman. For example, Lord Dunsany. If you talk to Neil at any length, Neil would gladly admit being inspired by people like Lord Dunsany. And Hellboy 2 was completely inspired by Dunsany, by Clark Ashton Smith, by people that are dark fantasists, that are not that well known. Michael Moorcock, with the Elric series. So, you can see that dark fantasy on Hellboy 2. And I guess if the reference you have in your immediate world is Neil Gaiman, you would go to that. But I love Sandman, and the thing that I wish the most for Sandman is for a limited cable series, not a movie. I don't think a movie is not the way to deal with that character. You need a longer arc. I think Neil Gaiman should direct the High Cost of Living. I don't think anyone else should direct it. If he gets it right, he got it right. If he gets it wrong, he has the the only one that has the right to screw up that beautiful tale. Well, the next director's cut is done. We delivered it at Disney, and hopefully it will be released soon enough. We don't know. Miramax is for sale, and for as long as that remains in the limbo, the DVD and Blu-ray will remain in limbo. Am I happy about the new cut? I'm super happy. I think it's a better movie. I think it is more understandable. It's a little more cohesive. I love that movie. I mean, I hope it gets released, because then I can say I like all my movies and not say except Mimic. You know, the director's cut fixes the movie to a degree for me. No, I'm not involved. This came up. There are some rumors on the internet that that make me look far more busy than I am, and I'm pretty busy. But I'm not doing the monsters, and I'm not doing Doctor Strange, and this and that. I mean, there are a few that are not true. That is one of them. I talked to them about it, but I'm not doing it. I should talk to Ron Perlman about that, because Ron is getting a little too impatient with the 7-hour makeup job, and he doesn't want to do it anymore. And he's been spoiled by Sons of Anarchy, where the only makeup he wears is pancake. I would love that. There's a petition going online and a trailer. Go see it, the Prince Nuada. Go to deltorofilms.com, and there's a whole thread about it, and some fans made a really great trailer with Prince Nuada and the whole backstory. It's a pretty cool thing. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think Universal is going to go and put the necessary money to do it, but I wish they would. Yeah, I mean, look, I think questioning the fact that films can work in 3D is completely silly. They do, they can. Avatar worked, for sure. And Toy Story 3 worked, for sure. How to Train Your Dragon absolutely worked, for sure. So they do. I think that people get too precious. I think what is not to be admitted is that every film has to be 3D. I don't agree with that. I don't want to see Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice in 3D and see Mr. Darcy in 3D, or I don't want to see Wuthering Heights in 3D. By the same token, I myself was not interested in shooting The Hobbit in 3D. But I do believe that big spectacle movies like Avatar or At the Mountains of Madness or The Haunted Mansion should be in 3D. You know, Frankenstein, I will fight for it not to be in 3D. Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, I wouldn't like it to be in 3D. Slaughterhouse-5, I think Kurt Vonnegut would have smiled if either way. You know, but I think that it's not for every movie, but a lot of them are.